Okay, Monica says we live. So thank you for our audience out there that's joining us tonight. I am Joyce Johnson, author, speaker, sales champion coach, and founder of Y Sales Network. Thank you for joining us for our webinar tonight, how to increase your real estate sales. Tonight, we have some top influencers in the real estate market. We're going to talk to you about why it's a good time to go into real estate, but we're also going to talk to you tonight about why it's a good time to buy and invest if you're thinking about purchasing that home or investing in a property. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my guests that I have tonight. We're going to start off with our with the Texas real estate king, our real estate broker, Mr. Larry Brooks.
Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. Larry W. Brooks, 20 years of real estate, largest black-owned real estate company in Texas, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I'm excited to be in front of you all today. I'm going to share as much as I can. Hopefully, I'm able to plant a few nuggets that allow your business to grow in this market.
Thank you, Larry. Thanks for joining us. Then we're going to move over to Ms. Melinda Lumpkins, who is our mortgage professional.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Melinda Lumpkins, and again, I have also over 20 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and I hope that I can share some information with you in regard to purchasing or the lending side of it. It's a great time to invest or to purchase a property, and just have an array of knowledge, much knowledge in regard to the business. So looking forward to speaking with you on some of the many things that we have to offer, and just to help you along the way. Hope I could add some value to your experience.
Thank you, Rolanda. And then we have our sales trainer in real estate, Ms. Betty Flores, from down out in South Florida. You have your phone on mute, Betty.
Better?
Better.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Joyce. Yeah, I have been in the sales industry for just a little over a decade, and I didn't start my career in real estate. I actually am a sales and strategy coach, and that is what I do. That is my passion. And I became a licensed real estate agent because I was so passionate about selling and being able to sell to clients. And my goal and my passion is to create for my clients, whether it's my brokers or my agents, creative and impactful sales strategies.
Well, thank you. You know, real estate is always one, I'm in sales, I'm everything sales. And one thing that I would just make me chuckle, as my sister say, for years, is that when I would hear someone say in sales, I'm tired of sales, I'm going to leave corporate and I'm going to go into real estate. And I just start laughing. I'm like, well, then you're really going to be selling. That's going to be the hardest sales job of your life. So, and I tell people all the time, one of my biggest jobs is just helping people explain what sales jobs really are. Mortgage professor and lender like Rolanda, that's a sales job. Larry, your agents, broker, that's sales. And sometimes people just don't get it. But with that said, I still have people coming to me today and saying, as a recent, my little nephew saying, hey, Joyce, I want to get into real estate. What can you tell me about real estate? And so, I've been trying to introduce him and educate him on things. But, Larry, tell us, why is this a good reason? Why is this a good time for people to go into real estate business right now?
Well, I think that what has really opened up big with real estate is the platform of knowledge, right? You have so many experts that you can tap into that are now mentors. When I got in 20 years ago, we really didn't have a mentor. You took whatever knowledge your broker decided to share with you and you moved forward with it, or you did not. So right now, I think the impact that you have an opportunity to gain so much knowledge and be able to build so many different strategies is why you can get in there as a sales agent and be successful. Like my sales team, everyone is doing well, but it's because they bought into the mentorship. We didn't use the term mentorship 20 years ago. We didn't really know what it was. We was like, okay, we're gonna get in and whatever our broker tells us to do, we'll do it or not do it. And so now mentorship is a big thing. You got sales strategists that can really take your business to the next level. Yep.
Yeah, like what Betty's doing, right? And so
right, exactly.
Yeah, before it was like, okay, go figure it out. I'm writing another book and I'm talking about when I first got into sales, and they're like, okay, it was a great time and I was selling alarm system and things, but I was just out there by myself and fear took over, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
so that can happen. I just think right now there's just so many great resources in education and training. So it's really a good time to enter a business. So from let's hear from our financial guru on the mortgage side. So what are some tips you recommend for real estate agents to help them be successful when it comes to engaging you as a mortgage professional?
Yes. Well, what I would recommend to help them be successful is to always have their clients to get pre-approved first.
That's right.
It makes the process much easier. When the real estate agent goes out, you're not going out on a joyride. You know what your
Mhm.
client qualified for. They're pre-approved, so it saves them a lot of headaches. Burning up gas and wasting time, valuable time, because time is money. So the
That's right.
first thing you want to do is to have your clients to get pre-approved by a mortgage professional. So you know what their income, they already know what they're qualified for, what the mortgage person has already looked at their income, their
Mhm.
assets, and their job, their stability. So all of those things are important.
And you
And
know what? As
if
they say,
I'm
time
sorry,
is money, right?
my time
It
is
is
And
money.
money.
you
Time
know,
is
Yeah.
money.
I have my book out there, Why Sales for College Students, and I talk about the different types of jobs, and how they pay. And real estate is one of those jobs that you're going to get paid for as hard as you work. It
That's
is a
right.
commission only, and type of job, right? And even
That's
on the
right.
mortgage side of the house, so time is money. You want to make sure you get those people
That's
pre-approved,
correct.
and
Yeah.
that you understand and they understand what needs to happen over the next 90 days or however long it takes for them to get in that home.
Yeah,
So,
and it's amazing that you say that, Joyce, because one of the things that I love telling new agents, if you give real estate 90 days that you would give any other career, you come in and you spend 8 to 10 hours or 13 hours a day doing this process. In 90 days, you'll look up and you'll build a solid book of business to where you won't have to look back. That's just in 90 days of giving it everything in you, and you won't have to look back again. It's that simple.
That's
what
correct.
they say, 90 days to create a habit. You got to do it 90 days. I
Mhm.
tell I tell people when I first started doing my sales tips, I said I'm going to put a sales tip out there every day of the week for 90 days.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
yeah.
that's what I did. You got to go in, you got to commit to it. And so, yeah, you got to put that 90 days. So, Betty, what are you talking to new real estate agents about? How are you preparing them to, get their head in the game?
Yeah, so one of the things I love talking about is how a lot of these agents come into our industry because they're tired of selling or they're tired of hustling or
Yeah.
they want more time for themselves. I want to spend more time for my family and any of that. And quite frankly, when you come into being a business owner, you're going to be working harder, you're going to be working more, you're going to be selling
Mhm.
yourself like nobody's business. That is
Mhm.
your business. You are the product, right? And I just laugh when they say that I just want more time for myself because that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
This is not the
No.
ingredient, right? And I have coached businesses, Fortune 500 companies, and I have coached small businesses. And I'm currently a full-time trainer with Better Homes and Gardens real estate side.
Yeah.
One of the things I tell them is this. One, you need to understand that all these ideas that you have that you're going to bank $150,000 in 1 year and that you're going to sit back and the clients are just going to come to you, that's not going to happen.
No.
That's
Let's
right.
just be realistic, right? That's the
Yeah.
first thing. The second thing is I tell them all the time, it's like putting up a new business. You're going to make it all pretty. You're going to paint it. You're going to put your signs up. You're going to do some SEO, some social media marketing, and then you're going
Mm-hmm.
to open your doors and there's going to be nobody there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we need to understand that at the end of the day, if you're not selling, you're not making money. If you're not
That's
selling
correct.
and promoting yourself, you're not making money. If you're not having somebody in the pipelines, you're not making money. So we
That's
need
right.
to understand we are the product, right? We are the product. And
That's
I
right.
always give my sales agents 3 top tips when they are looking for a new client or when they're losing clients, because that's another thing we don't realize. You don't realize how many referrals you forget
You
simply
dropped the
by
ball.
doing a
Mhm.
good
It's
job.
true.
Did you want me to go into those now or did you want me to wait? My
Well,
three
go ahead,
tips.
you kick it
Yeah,
off.
I'm excited. I want to hear
You're
those three
taking me on
tips.
the road
I'm
now.
over here taking notes, man. Come on. I'm taking
Be the
notes,
real
man.
estate sales, right? Don't hold back on them,
Anybody
right?
I'm always a student. I am always a
Okay,
student.
Okay.
Be
sure.
sure
So
real estate
these are the
sales.
top. Yeah, so 3 tips. Here you go. If you can get these 3 tips, you will understand why people come to you or why people come and leave or why they never refer their friends to you. Here's the thing. Let's be real. Let's be honest. You know that my friends know a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Who's a real estate agent. We all know that. We know friends that are in the industry, or we know friends that have a license and can help you. We all know that, right? Here's what's going to set you apart. Ready? Number one, top 3 reasons why people leave. People, it's the people. They're not buying into you. They are not buying into you. End of story, right? Either you're not connecting with them, you're not asking those open ended questions, you're not being aggressive about connecting with them. My number one tip on how to connect with somebody, the first 2 minutes of your conversation, shut up. The first
Absolutely.
2 minutes of my conversation with a prospective or with a potential client, I'm quiet. I'm just listening. I'm understanding. I'm fine tuning. I'm placing all these things in my head in place. First 2 minutes, be quiet because they have to buy into the number one thing, which is the people. If they're not buying into you, they're not going to do business with you. I had a client today that called and said, I had another guy that called me from another industry. I'm not going to say what agency. I just didn't trust him. You spoke to me 10 seconds and you trusted me. All I said was, "Hi, I'm Betty with Better Homes and Gardens," and you automatically trusted me. Okay. So this is crucial because if you don't have the people skills that where you build that trust, where you build that empathy with your client, they're not going to come to you. They're not going to refer anybody to you. They're not going to buy with you, and they're definitely not going to list with you. Okay.
Yes.
Number two, the second thing is your product. Okay. The second thing is your product. Here's the thing, right? In any industry that's not real estate, you have a company, you have a product. They're two totally different things, right? In the real estate industry, it's the same thing. You are the product. And if they don't like the product you have, if they don't like the brand you represent, if they don't like the numbers you perceive or the numbers you're presenting to them, they're not going to buy into you. They're going to go, I think I'm going to list it another day or another year. Or, you know what? Let me do my research. I hate that. Let me do my research. That just means I'm going to look you up, see how much you sold, see what company you're with, and then I'll decide.
I'm gonna Google
Right?
you.
Huh?
I'm gonna Google you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do, or I'm gonna talk to my significant other. You all know that, right? So if you're not listening to your client and you're not positioning yourself as the expert in this industry, you're gonna lose them. You're going to lose them. Now, here's the worst part. There's something worse than losing them is wasting your time with them. That's even worse,
Wow.
right? That's even
Yes.
worse.
Yes.
So that's tip number
Wow.
2. They buy into the people, they buy into the product. For us in the real estate industry, it's the same thing. Okay. And the third thing is, and this is a big one, and this is where I talk to my brokers because my brokers need to listen to
Oh,
this one.
Larry.
I'm right
This
here with
is
you. I'm right here
this
with
is
you.
where I talk to my agents in the loan industry. This is where I talk to them and I say, I need your help, my friend. Okay. The process. The process.
Mm.
Buying a home is emotionally draining. We're all excited the day we take that picture with the keys, right? But the process that got us there was draining, right? And we also know that selling your home is an emotionally draining and exhausting time for our clients. So, if you're not making my brokers, if you're not making that process easy, simple for your team, you're failing your team.
True.
Okay. If
Yeah.
you're not making this process seamless for me, if you're not giving me the resources I need, if you're not giving me the content I need, if you're not feeding me the things I need, I'm failing my team ultimately. Right.
I
So
agree.
they either are going to buy into the people, that's you, the product you have, which is you and your brand or the company you represent. Okay. And number 3, the process. The 3 P's in the industry, if you don't have them, your sales are going to plummet. You're not going to make it. The average time that all these small businesses open or come into existence was 5 to 7 years. And if you think back of the people that you know that were in the industry at some point, they didn't last more than 5 to 7 years because
True.
financially we can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
true that.
Yeah.
I
So, yeah.
you know, yeah,
Yeah.
but
So three
and
P's.
thank you for that, Betty, because one of the things I heard you say in the beginning that I really want to recap on, because I also talk about this, is that you are going into business when you go into real estate.
That's right.
Although you have your broker, you have a great guy like Larry behind you. He has a good system. He has a great company brand. He's a Texas real estate king. You know,
Mhm.
you have to own it because it's your
Yeah,
business, and
That's
people
right.
have to buy into you and
it's
your
true.
Yeah.
business. Larry's company name may get them to you and may give you some leverage over another company that hasn't been around for so long. One thing I like about Larry is that he survived the whole real estate fallout
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that took
Yep.
place, right? And
That's right.
so he can get you there. He can get you to the water, but you got to drink it, I guess, so to speak, right? And so
That's true.
you got to have, you are in a business on your own, you're in sales, and you're
Right.
responsible for, as I say, informing, educating, um, and engaging your customer on the process. So for those out there listening to us on the different channels, we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook tonight. We may have gotten to Instagram, I'm not sure, but we'll repost it if not.
Yeah.
um, you're with Y Sales Network, and we're talking about how to increase your real estate sales if you're a real estate professional. We're also going to talk a little bit tonight about why it's a good time to buy and invest. And so when you talk about that process, I want to go to Rolanda really fast, because I know that that process, can be a little draining sometimes, or frustrating, just to us, just to the buyer, really. It's not to the people behind the scene, because it's what they do every day.
Mhm.
And I know my last home loan, I closed with Rolanda, and I'm a person that, for me, just save me time, right? Just save me time. Be like, Joyce, I got it. I'll look it up. Send it to me. Help you with it. Whatever you
Right.
have to do to save me time. And Rolinda's known me for many years, so she knows that. But Rolinda, what are some of the tips you can share with our real estate agents that they should communicate to their customers that will help the process when they get to you?
Okay, yes, certainly. Usually, the buyer should really talk to the mortgage person first, but 99% of the time they always talk to the realtor. So some of the
Hmm.
things that the realtor want to prepare them, um, the information they want to give them prior to speaking with the mortgage person, is to have their financials, their income documents, their banking documents, and things that I will need, or a lender will need, prior to going out to them. It makes it much easier when
Hmm.
they can,
Right.
kind of set them up for what is to be expected, or have them with an expectation of the
Hmm.
things that they're going to need. So if they can give them a little information about, just have your W-2s together, your
Hmm.
payroll, your statements, your bank statements, your pay stubs, 30 days of pay stubs. If you're self-employed, the self-employment information, just setting that up, and then it makes it much smoother and
True.
easier. And most of the realtors, or my realtor partners that I work with, they do. So
They're ready.
and that's always a good thing when you have a partnership with a realtor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I truly like working with agents and first time agents. Some people find that different, but I do it because I can also help them along the way. A lot of times, well, most often, and you have some experienced realtors, don't always know the finance side. So if they have a better understanding of what the mortgage piece, it helps the whole transition, or the whole process. It's a
Yeah.
much easier process. Yes.
So you
Yeah.
want to train them early to do it the right way.
Yes.
That's what I hear
So
you say.
and that's it. Yeah. So
Where
if
they get
you
those
get
bad
a,
habits.
right,
Yeah.
if you get a realtor, a brand new realtor, you can train them, and they know what to expect in the process, and they'll feed that information to their clients, which
Yeah.
also helps them in the process too,
Yeah,
as well.
and it's amazing that you say that, because that's one of the things that we're always pushing in my brokerage firm. As someone getting licensed, and as we're going through coaching and training with them, we're saying, hey, go out and make relationship with mortgage and have a dialogue. Understand what their process looks like. Not that
Hmm.
you're doing it, but you have to be abreast of
That's
what it
true.
looks like. Because when you get to a situation and it's a what we call a hanger in the road,
Hmm.
you what's going on the finance side, you got to be able to communicate through that and say, you know what, this
That's
is
right.
what's happening. They've transferred the loan to the processor. The processor said this is part is needed. And that understanding what the mortgage person, not that you're going to do any part of it, but because
Right.
you be the first contact, you need to at least be able to build that trust with them by walking them through what the process is going to look like before their feet even hit the pavement of doing it. So that's the power behind that buyer's presentation in the beginning, so that you're going through every step of it before. In their mind already playing what this process is going to look like, and then when they sit down with
Exactly.
people like you, then it's more of a okay. I've heard this before, and so now it's just kind of re-emphasizing the points that you've already touched on, which is amazing.
And
Mhm.
and what I find, whether it's even though they're doing a mortgage, and you
Mm-hmm.
buying a property, most people who come to me, they think they're going to the car dealership, and they want to hide. And so the other part I always like to articulate is, I am like your attorney or doctor, so we have confidentiality.
Yes,
You
yeah.
need to communicate to me. I need to know before it goes to the underwriter, because if it's structured right, not that because we're never going to do anything wrong, but it's just a
Mm-hmm.
way of setting it up to get it, structuring the
That's right.
loan to get it processed and underwritten properly and
That's right.
approved. That's the
Yeah.
ultimate goal. So
Yeah.
if I know on the front end, if I know something on the front end, but don't, get in the process. I had this to happen to me. I was actually same day of closing, the my general sales manager calls me and said, "Relinda, we have a problem." I said, "What's going on?"
Uh-oh.
The client, "Did you know your client doesn't have a job?" I said, "Can't be." Yes, she does. Well, guess what? She quit her job. Well, she didn't because she got laid off, or asked to retire early.
Yeah.
And so he was a mortgage broker, not a mortgage broker. He was a broker, realtor. Her realtor, who was a broker, told her to not communicate that to me.
Wow.
And I said, "Oh my goodness." So now how do we do that? But just so happened she had gotten another job. So that made the process, we just had to verify it. And she'd already had a check
Mhm.
stop. But you have to let your mortgage person know, your lender
Right.
know.
Yes,
If
Mhm.
you've made a
Absolutely.
change, you've done something differently, you have to let them know
Yeah.
it, because that could have gone real left. But we were able
Mhm.
to save it. So yeah, you
Mhm.
always, let the lender know. And there's some other situations that are going on. But again, if the lender knows up front, uh, there's a way to get around it, or to save, save the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's always a good thing, to let the lender know what's going on.
That's
And
right.
so realtors, you want to advise your clients, talk to your lender.
Mhm.
absolutely. And I was sharing with Relinda before we went live that my younger cousin Ashley, she's in real estate, and she posted the things of not to do when you're buying a home on Instagram yesterday. It was the funniest thing ever. So I would like for us to go around and say one thing not to do when you're buying a home. And I'm going to kick it off because I even told my sister this many years ago. She's buying a home. I tell it to everybody, don't go buy your furniture and a car before you close on your house. Buy it the day, you can buy it the same day, but after you close on your house.
Mhm.
Go and apply for anything you want to after you close on your house. Don't do it before. Larry,
Mhm.
what's one you have for them?
Me is don't do anything that's going to allow for your credit. Leave your credit situation alone. By any means, don't go furniture shopping. That's the car, like you said. Just do not have anything where someone's going to pull your credit. Go to your job every day for that 30 days as though your life depended on it. Go to work on time. We don't want any problems. That's how I look at it.
Betty?
Yeah, so mine is, do not try to do it yourself. Do not YouTube it and try
Amen.
to figure this out yourself. There's professionals there to help you. There's professionals that have been trained to do this. There's professionals that will love to help you, not
Yes.
just for business purposes, but also because they are really truly passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
so true, Betty,
compromise.
because people always saying, "Well, I can do it myself, and I might can save that percentage that the realtor was going to get," and they have no idea about what to negotiate, how to look at things, how to get their home appraised or assessed, and that is
Mhm.
so true. Don't
Anytime I
try
have
to do it
somebody,
yourself.
no, anytime I have a client that says, I'm going to try to do it myself, I said, that's great. I am not going to go against what you're looking to do. Here's my card. And if you can't sell your home in 90 days, would you please call me? And I will do it
Mhm.
for you. I will be happy to
Just
list it
pay the
because
realtor.
we know, we know they're going to call you.
No
But don't
doubt
try to
about
do
it.
it. Don't try to do it
Get it
yourself.
done
Yeah,
sooner.
go with the professionals. Hmm.
Relinda, what's a couple of your do nots?
Do not put large deposit, make large deposits in your
Mm,
account,
that's
and
right.
do not make any withdrawals.
Hmm.
Even if you said you think that you only have $5,000 to bring the closing and you have seven, so you want to withdraw the two. Do not touch the money, and do not make any large deposits. Do not change jobs.
That's yeah. That's really important actually. Now that you point that out, that is very big. Then you got to go
Hmm.
back through the whole verification process
That's
again.
right.
Where did that come
Delaying
from?
closing.
Yeah.
That's right. You have
Yeah.
to cross every dot, cross every T, dot every I. So if you make a large deposit more than your income, your pay stub, then you
Mhm.
have to document it. Do not make any large cash deposits into your account. Any and
Mhm.
all cash deposits have to be explained.
So if I hear what you guys saying from the aspect tonight of helping our agents to grow their sales and to be what they're doing, it's really important that they connect with people like you, Rolinda, and that they have maybe even have some type of list or where to say electronic or folder, whatever that they give to their customers on the do's and don'ts that they need in order to be able to have a smooth transaction from the time when they're getting ready to look for their house to the time to close.
Yes,
If
I have a statement
they
of
did these
understanding.
things,
Oh,
yeah, if they did follow all these things that you guys are saying that they should do right now, that in itself should increase their sales, improve their sales,
mhm.
and their sales process.
Yeah. Must be
Yes.
must be teachable and coachable and pay into yourself, your skill level. So get someone that's going to train you, even if it's outside of your brokerage firm. Get you a coach or somebody that already has the strategies in place, the scripts in place. So it's a system and a process. So you're automatically gonna win in this game. It's very easy. All you gotta do is follow the steps that other people have done. That's
Mhm.
it. Teachable and coachable.
Yeah, that's very true. One of the things that I do and I enjoy doing with new agents is to walk them into a property and say, sell it to me. Because if you can think on the spot like that, if you can think about something that I have said earlier that was important to me, you're not only building that trust, but you're gaining a
Yeah.
long time client. And
Yeah.
that is harder to maintain than a new one. A new one is excited because they're buying their house for the first time and all
Mhm.
that. And that's great. But at the end of the day, the one that you want to nurture that relationship is those long term clients that will call you and say, hey, I just gave your number to such and such because
Right.
they're looking
That's true.
to buy. Or, hey, by the way, I just gave my your card to my sister who's looking to list her home. So I totally agree with being able not only to sell on the spot and be able to buy in to what you're saying, but also to be able to hold that relationship as well.
That's right.
That's absolutely correct.
So you have to be able to listen, as we say in sales all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, I was
Always.
Yeah.
about to belt out with my Beyonce voice into the Just Listen song, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it to you guys, and I'm not going to do it to myself. I'm not going to do it. So,
Yeah.
so again, for our audience out there on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, um, I am Joyce Johnson, founder of Y Sales Network. You're chimed into Y Sales Network, one of our Wednesday night webinars. We have Larry Brooks, the Texas Real Estate King, with us. Relinda Lumpkins, a mortgage broker. Betty Flores, a sales trainer in real estate. Tonight, we're talking about why real estate as a sales profession and also why it's a good time to buy. So, let's hop over to that, Larry, because you've told me a little bit things about what's happening right now. Um, in this COVID space and how sales are actually going up and not down. So why is it a good time to buy?
Well, if you were one of those people that were fortunate to still have occupation, still have your job in place, the interest rates are super low, and
Mhm.
it works in two ways, right? So, A, you're buying, the rates are so low that you probably never have to refinance a home. So you get an amazing rate, right? And then if you're looking to sell and move up, it's an ideal time because we don't have enough properties on the market. And so now you're getting your home for what you want or even more than that. We're in a competing market again. So right now, financially, if you are able to keep your occupation and you're in a good place financially, it's an ideal time to buy. This is when most investors come into the market. This is that time when you can really get the bang for your buck.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. That is good. 'Cause I've heard a lot of people talking about refinancing lately and getting that lower interest rate. So I definitely agree with that. And then being able to, you know, find a new home. Maybe if you want to move up a little bit, expand. Got those kids, or if you want to, as I tell my college students, some of their parents are moving in smaller homes. When you go home from college now, you don't have a room, so get yourself together. Get that real estate license, go sell something. Mm-hmm. So Betty, what are you sharing, or what are you hearing on your side as a trainer that you're able to share with your agents about why is this a good time to buy?
Well, a lot of the things that we've been talking about is how busy we can be sometimes and how busy we are with being busy, right? So as agents, if you're not out and about, you feel like you're not busy. But right now is the perfect time for you as an agent to position yourself into getting more listings. Okay. I love being able to have a listing presentation and be able to email that to a potential client. Now is the time to position yourself as a listing expert, because a lot of people are looking for it. And what I like to say is, if you even considered it, if you even crossed your mind, if you ever just were curious about how much your home is worth right now, let's just have a conversation, right? Now, that can be something that is just a conversation and they're like, I wasn't really interested, but you already planted that seed that you are the expert, you are the pro in this industry, right? That's very strategic. And if they decide that, yeah, I do actually want to, I hadn't considered it until now, I lost my job, or I'm working 100% from home, now people are like, I could live anywhere. I could move closer to my friends and family. I could move closer to my daughter. I got a call the other day that said, I can move now. I'm working from home and I can move to anywhere. And I want to move to anywhere else that's not here. So what I'm saying to you is position yourself, because it's coming and it's here and you don't want to miss it. Don't miss it, because if you miss it right now, I always tell my agents, whatever you're doing right now is going to generate a closing in 90 days. If you're doing absolutely nothing, in 90 days, you're going to get nothing. Right now.
You know what? That is so true. And I like what you said about listing, because I have this lady that she listed a house in my neighborhood. I'm in a fairly new area. And she listed a house in my neighborhood, and I was out watering my grass. She came over to talk to me. This lady has sent me a card like every 90 days, letting me know if I want to list my home or sell my home, that she's here for me. I like clockwork. Every 3 months, I get a card from her.
I love it. That's a great system. It's gonna work. If you didn't have us, that would work. I'm just saying.
I know, Larry, that would work. That'd be a good thing. But So she's like, I'm just thinking she's doing it to everyone in the neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's already sold. She sold 2 houses, so obviously it worked for one. And so she sold 2 houses in the neighborhood. And I'm sure, just like myself, my next door neighbor, and everyone's getting a card from her every 90 days. And if we want to sell our home, she's here for us. Yeah. And she also sends a little quote on the value of the house. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I see you. So we had a question on screen that said, can the panel shed some light on refinancing? Rolanda, what can you share with our audience about refinancing? What does that look like right now? What does it take maybe to get refinanced, and why is it a good time to refinance their home?
Yes, it's great. So if you have an interest rate of 4.5% or higher, it's an excellent time. And even some folk who may have a 3.875, depending on the amount of the loan, it still can be a great time. I have a client that I refinanced recently, and I saved her $500 a month
Mm.
And that was because the equity, especially in Texas, if you live in Texas and you've purchased a home in the last 5 years, you have equity because we are more than the national value. Our property values increase more than the national average, and so you're in a good in an equitable position. So you can refinance, and if you had MI mortgage insurance, if now you may be in a position where you have 80% or less owed on your home. So you can refinance that home, drop the mortgage insurance, and drop the rate and save yourself a ton of money. She saved $512 to be exact.
Yeah,
The
I was
interest rate,
thinking that $500, that's how much those terror that truly
that's a
that's how much
car.
your shoes cost. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
the shoes
car. Yes.
that fakes keep coming up on my Facebook, that I clicked on. Yeah, you can get a
Yeah.
pair like every month.
So, and I've had a couple of clients who've been in their home a while, and again, they're refinanced. They can, depending on the score now, because the rate is score driven, get to
Mhm.
2.5%, pull the equity out, and use that equity to purchase something as a down payment on an investment property. So people are thinking now. They're at home. They're having more time to think. Folk who are working from home and had smaller homes saying now, oh, wait a minute, I think I want something larger for the family and,
Yeah.
a space to work. So,
Mhm.
there it's this COVID, it's been, it may have been a challenge, but it's also an opportunity to expand. So people have been expanding their homes,
Yeah.
expanding their businesses,
Yep.
opening up businesses, working from home and opening up businesses, and they need a larger spot or place. So they're refinancing their homes, adding on, they can do that, or like I said, investing in investment property, purchasing
Mhm.
investment property,
I've
a
seen a
larger
lot
amount.
of that people relocating because they can work from home now.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of that, people talking about that on LinkedIn and everywhere.
Hmm.
Now my company's saying that they're not going to go back to an office environment because I've been
Yep.
productive away from home. I can now live wherever I want, which is amazing. And
That's
so
right.
I'm sure there's a lot of that. And I'm happy that you mentioned investment properties because I did get someone asked me about investment properties prior to the call. So, Larry, what is, I guess that, maybe some national averages or what's happening in Houston. How, and then I'll give London to chime in on a little bit. What's that investment market like right now?
If you have the finances, people are buying. I was literally telling some friends the other day, I get about 10 to 15 emails a day of new properties that are not on my
Mm.
MLS system that are just that wholesalers are actually going out knocking on doors and getting people into contract.
Yes.
So there's investment deals out there for people that don't have money, or for people that are actually looking to be an end buyer, looking to buy something and flip it, buy something and rent it. Now we haven't seen what's going to happen when it comes to like the whole COVID situation and people that may lose their homes in several months from now,
Yes.
which I really give about 12 to 24 months. I don't really think it's going to be as heavy as people think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So many programs that's trying to help people keep their homes.
Okay.
But right now, if you're in a financial place, this is the same thing that took place in '08. People bought homes at low prices, and then you're going to be able to hold on to that property and then sell it in 5 years or 4 to 5, 3 to 5 years and make a large amount of money on it. So
And
if
so
you're
are they looking at single family homes? Are they looking at multifamily investments? What are people searching for right now?
the buzzword right now is really multifamily. Now, there's still a great opportunity when it comes to single family, but because social media and the rest of the world is saying multifamily, you're seeing it everywhere. A lot of people are actually inquiring about multifamily, but unless a group of people together trying to acquire them, there's not as many individuals that are actually getting them themselves. There's still a lot of people moving when it comes to the individuals that I see.
And Rolinda, on the mortgage side, what does that look like if, on an average, and I know it just changes, depends on people's credit, their income and things like that. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, wow, I can do this for this amount, but on an average, what are you guys at the mortgage lenders looking for as down payments or what have you for those looking to invest?
Well, I have some lenders who will do at least 15%, but again, it's credit score driven,
Mhm.
and but at least 20%. Some are 15% loan to value.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, my apologies, 15% down,
Yeah.
85% loan to value, or 80% loan to value. And we'll do up to 5 properties. So investors who currently own homes, you have a lot of lenders who will still do as many as 5 properties, allow them to acquire at least 5 properties. And then I have some other more on the commercial side sources who will do that 4 units, the 8 units. So that is available as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And Joyce, one of the other things too that I have seen a trend, at least on our end and here in Florida, has been people that are looking to purchase for Airbnbs. So that has been
Yes.
something that we've worked with quite a bit. Actually, my last couple of transactions have been just properties that I just want to invest in something that I can rent out, and but I don't want to have to like do it every single month, right? Well, or make a year contract, right? Because not a lot of people can afford that. So I have noticed an influx in Airbnbs and areas that are allowing you to do that. So as a real estate agent, get familiar with the terminology, get familiar with what that looks
Hmm.
like, get familiar with the
Mhm.
VRBO websites that are able to do that for you as well.
Yeah. You know, and it's amazing that you talk about the Airbnbs because literally with some of those transactions, you can make more money with an Airbnb than if you had a four
This is
unit
true.
complex,
Yes.
even if you had an individual property. You can literally make people that are making or clearing anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 a month off of an
Yep.
Airbnb that they have. And that's
Right.
way more than
Hmm.
you're doing a
Right.
door of some of these fourplexes or even some of these individual homes. Yeah.
Right.
And I
I
know my sister loves to get
got
Airbnb.
no Airbnb. It's just the
Yeah.
truth.
Some
Yeah.
people prefer to travel with Airbnbs. You know, my sister, she loves to get,
Hmm.
get the houses when we travel. We were all just in Vegas and she, got a house, for us. And I personally was looking to just get away for a minute. So I've been looking at some places in the Bahamas. And so when I reached out to this man on Zoom Island, I said, I'd like to rent your place for a month. And he said, well, what are you going to do with your place while you're gone? And I'm like, well, nothing. And he's like, well, you want to rent your place? And I'm like, I don't like people in my personal space like that. But if
Food
I
for
Really,
thought.
could,
Yeah.
if I was okay
yeah.
with it in my personal space, that would have been a great idea.
Mhm.
Right.
It's a
Right.
big deal. And not only that, even if you're not purchasing them, they have mail where you can go in. And since we're talking about real estate investment, I'm going to give y'all the nugget that's out there, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
You can literally get you an LLC or get your company,
Mhm.
take that company, and you can go and do corporate leasing. Just find apartment
That's
companies
right.
that do corporate leasing, negotiate a 1 to 13 year lease, and then you can Airbnb the property. They just want you to take care of it, and they want to know that you have a business in place that's going that has the E&O insurance that they need, and you can actually
Mhm.
use that. So that could be something without you having as much overhead. That you can start
Hmm.
$5,000, right? You can do that with $5,000 because that's including your first few months of bills, your deposit, and your rent, your furniture for the property.
I
Hmm.
have a friend that does that right now in Atlanta. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I have a friend that does that right now in Atlanta. She leases these big homes and she's renting out rooms. And her big clientele has been people that are working over at Tyler Perry Studios, because Tyler
Yeah.
Perry's got
Right.
everybody in his bubble. And
Yeah.
and if you see,
Yeah.
he's still rolling his shows out. So yeah, so she really is an advocate of that. And
Hmm.
she loves it. So yeah, that's it. I hope you
Awesome.
guys wrote that down. Larry just gave you guys, as we call it, side hustle.
Yeah.
Larry over here. Y'all know Larry has the Pure Hustle brand, and um, because real estate is a hustle,
No doubt
and
about it.
Yes, it
I,
is.
I got some of all type of Larry stuff, and I feel like I need to get that hustle food. I put on my little beanie hat that says Pure Hustle and have you.
Yes,
But
indeed.
Larry just told you guys. Larry just told you guys how to start a profitable business in
Profitable.
real estate.
I'm telling you.
If you weren't listening, shame on you.
Yep.
I'll recap it. Go get you an LLC, lease you a house, rent that house out as Airbnb. Rent you some rooms like my friend does, and earn you $5,000, $6,000 maybe a month. It may be less than that, but any money that you didn't have before
Yeah.
Hmm.
is what
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good money. So Larry gave you guys that. So I hope you everybody was listening. Don't say you don't learn things when we come on live Wednesday nights. We
That's
still
right.
make it work.
Yeah.
So, Betty, what are just some last things that you like to share with our real estate, agents? I know a lot of them. I go back to my young self. Like I said, when I got my first sales job, I wanted a real sales job out of college. Everybody want that first college job, which I already was selling,
Mm,
women's shoes and earning good money,
yeah.
and it was commission only. And that fear kind of overcame me because I was out there by myself. And right now, no one's out there by themselves. That's the thing. Right now, there's so much support and things. But what do you say to our new agents about just making that commitment to continue that push through the holidays? What are you recommending for them? Some steps they need to take?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm working on this with my team right now. And one of the things I always ask brokers and I also ask real estate agents is right now is the perfect time to either have, hire, or find a coach. Here's the reason why. A coach can take you where they have been, but they can also take you where they haven't been. Because what we are trained to do is strategize. Okay. I got into real estate not as a real estate agent. I got into real estate because I created strategies. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I started creating these strategies, they were like, Betty, why don't you just get a license? And I thought, why? I'm good at what I do without it,
Yeah.
right? I only got into it because I really truly wanted to understand my clientele, which is my real estate agents. So I would say get or find yourself a great coach now.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now is going to prepare you for the next 3 to 9 months. If
That's
you're
right.
not doing it right now, you're not going to have anything 3 to 9 months from now,
That's
right?
right.
And if you, and one of the things that I asked I have a group called Mindset Mondays. I said, who wants to make more money next year? Let's say you wanted to make 10% more than you did this year. You know what that means? That means you're going to have to work that 10% plus 20% more. So you're going to have
Mhm.
to work 30% more to make 10% more on your profit.
Facts.
A coach will tell you where to go with that. They'll strategize with you and say, we need to bump up your social media. We need to bump up how to overcome those objections. Maybe you're not smooth in how to overcome those objections as real estate
Yes.
agents.
Mhm.
We get that. My
Mhm.
friend of a friend, we get, I'm being charged, you're charging me 5% versus 3%. My friend is charging me over there. Or perhaps, I don't know, let me think about it. We get all those objections,
All
right?
of it. Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. Every day. So get with someone that knows what they're doing, not your BFF, because your BFF is going to tell you what you want to hear. Get with
Yeah.
somebody who's going to tell you, get in your face and say, you need to get your act together.
That's
Okay.
right.
Because it's all about strategy. If there is no strategy, beginning of next year, you're going to have what? No
Not-
strategy.
and you have to have a plan. Yeah, you got to
Absolutely.
have that plan. I've started right now with my sales tips, coaching people through getting a plan. Don't
Yeah.
wait until next year to start your plan. I mean, and how I'm starting them with that plan is what's your financial goal for next year? That's a great
Yes,
place to start.
absolutely.
And then
Yeah.
back into what it's going to take for you to get there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I tell my
Good point.
clients and my real estate agents, I tell them after every single transaction that you have, after every transaction, take 10% of that. That is towards your coaching and development. For my
Mhm.
brokers, I tell them 10% of whatever you have for the year that you net. That is for the education and development and resource development of your team.
Mhm.
Because if you
Makes sense.
don't do that, you're not going to get better next year.
That's right.
Nothing is going to get better the same thing you did this year. It's not going to work next year because our industry is changing.
True.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry, any final tips for coaching? What are you sharing with your team right now?
I right now, if you're out there and you're in between jobs and you're debating on what you want to do with the next part of your next journey of your life, real estate, being a salesperson in real estate is an ideal situation right now. We have
Mhm.
things that we're doing to teach and coach and train you how to be great and awesome in this industry. That's coming in daily. And one of the things that we specialize in at Brooks and Davis is coaching. And our coach is a 20-year veteran of the real estate industry, and he hands-on teaches you how to go in, do this business, and be successful at it. So, in closing, from myself, if you're looking for that job, you thought about real estate several different times. You're like, I don't know if I should do it. You should do it. Now is the time. Right now is the time when we have time to teach you, coach you, and train you how to go out and be amazing in this industry. And it's not years to do it. You follow the system, you be teachable and coachable, and this is something that you can see value in within your first 90 to 120 days.
Good, good. And Rolinda, what are you telling your new babies to real estate as their mortgage guru? What's a couple of things you tell them to stay fresh on their mind for success?
For success, well, it's a great time to get started. And one of the things they want to look at is first-time home buyers. So in that, someone who's just starting out, that's a good place to start because they're learning together, and you can feel confident with someone who has just as much knowledge as you have, and you can help them along the process. So yeah, that's what I would tell them. And again, it's a good time to get started because of where we are right now. So it's fast. It's things are going on the mortgage side. It's a good time to jump in because people are buying. And so you can come in and make some money. It's not where in the past when I came in, as Larry said, you didn't have anybody to teach you. So you have the mentors, you have the trainers, you have the sources, and it was like every man for himself. So you have people to teach you and to train you and even if you want to get started slow, wherever you want to get started, it's just a good time to come in right now.
Yes. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight to Y Sales Network. And I'm going to say at Y Sales Network, we are showing and helping training development. We're a resource for sales professionals. We're a resource for those young professionals that's trying to find their way. I like to say that we're training the next generation of leaders. And so we're all things sales. So every Tuesday, we're putting sales tips out there. You can go and join the Oval at www.ysalesnetwork.com, and you'll get access to my ebooks. You'll get access to all the sales tips we have, all the programs we have. So coming up this Friday, we have our program, Meet the Recruiter, where we are going to have recruiters online. I honestly believe that the recruiters, for those of you who are looking for jobs, they're the key to that getting a job success. The recruiter is that person that you really need to learn how to engage with and how to communicate with. You need to understand what they're looking for and how they're communicating with the hiring manager. So we're going to start with some training on virtual interviewing and some strategies, and then you'll actually be able to spend some time with recruiters who are hiring in their, for their company, for Child Help as well as U.S. Bank. So join us on Friday for Y Sales Network, Meet the Recruiter. But we are a resource for all sales, for all things sales, no matter which industry you're in. I tell people all the time, sales is the only profession that no matter what you studied, no matter what your training is, you can take those transferable skills, you can go into the sales profession, get you a great job, earn great money, pay your bills, pay off your student loans. And for my college students, get off your parents' couch because your room has been vacated. It is now something else. You don't have a room to go home to.
That's great.
Also, for those of you out there, I'm going to be putting out my new book on January the 15th, No Back Doors for Me. And until that time, I've started a therapy Thursday series. I do it noon every Thursday on LinkedIn. And that's because as I started talking about no back doors for me, I felt like I needed some therapy. And the title of the book stems from a story my mom told me when I was a young girl about how she loved this Mexican food restaurant in Galveston, Texas, but they would only serve her through the back doors. And one day she made a decision that she just wasn't going to do it. And I sort of felt like, as being her firstborn child, she made that decision that she wasn't going to take her baby girl to any back doors. With that said, I also felt like I've been having to enter a lot of back doors in my corporate life. And and having to kick them down and go around them and, maybe go through the window or what have you, being the first and only. So I want to be able to help other women that look like myself in that corporate journey, help them understand some of those challenges are real, but also give them some tools and strategies on how to work through them for success. And so no back doors for me. I'll be launching that book on January the 15th. We're probably going to do something in person and virtual. So hope with that, all of you guys be able to join us. But continue to follow Y Sales Network. We're building a great platform. Looks like, I don't know if I should even say this, but it looks like we are going to go to Mexico next year for the sales conference. So go ahead. We got some great packages at the hotels, all inclusive. Go ahead and write down that June 25th date. We're going to begin marketing that, and we'd love to see all you guys there in Mexico with us. We're going to have some great speakers and some great information. If you can't make it to Mexico, we'll also be virtual. So again, Larry, Rolinda, Betty, Monica on the back end. I appreciate you guys. Oh, you know what? I didn't see any other questions, Monica, because Monica's probably going to say I didn't do a Q&A, but I didn't see any questions up there pop up other than the ones that they asked for Linda about financing. So if you do have some questions, just email us and we'll definitely get those answered for you. Again, I am Joyce Johnson, author, speaker, sales champion, coach, and founder of Y Sales Network. Make it a great night.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.